Now, traffic outside the Beitbridge Border remains congested with hundreds of trucks, buses and taxis and small vehicles still queuing to get to the port of entry. Home Affairs Minister Aaron Motsoaledi has attributed the massive delays to truck drivers who don't have the required documentation to cross the border. COVID-19 protocols such as screening and testing are also contributing to the delays. Now, to discuss this further, we're joined on Zoom by Juru, who is the president of the International Cross-Border Traders Association. Mr. Juru, good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How would you describe the situation at the border at the moment?
Yeah, the situation is very, very tense as it involves deaths. So it's not a good situation for travelers, especially during this festive season.
What do you think is contributing to the delays, though?
Yeah, firstly, I would like to blame the Zimbabwe government because when the South African government announced that they were going to open all their borders, they were citing festive season. And the Zimbabwean government failed to open the border in time. And all the people who have been logged in South Africa have been waiting for the borders to be reopened. And this is not about people traveling for holidays only, but it's also about people escaping out of South Africa. They've been logged into South Africa without work, without money, without food. We all know that foreigners didn't have any help from the government, and there was no work. They were not working. They didn't have money. So everyone is trying to get out of South Africa, and this is the situation we have because Zimbabwe failed to open their borders. And at the same time, when I spoke to the border spokesperson, Mr. Vanel, he said lawlessness is contributing as traffic from South Africa is occupying oncoming lands.
And we believe there was a meeting between the South African Home Affairs Department and the Zimbabwean government. Have you heard anything about what came out of that meeting, and has the situation changed at all?
Mr. Fanel refused to tell me what exactly they agreed between South Africa and Zimbabwe. But if you look at what Minister Motsoaledi said, it seems like there was nothing fruitful, and South Africa is very, very angry with the Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe ignored the reopening of borders by South Africa. Because there's no way South Africa can open the border and Zimbabwe fails to open the border the other side. They should do the same thing. It should be uniform, because there's no way someone can cross the South African border and end at the bridge there. The border should be opened both sides. So yesterday, I was phoned by the director, immigration director, Mr. Mudiri. He told me that now they are no longer testing truck drivers, as it was contributing also in this congestion. So they are no longer testing truck drivers. They are back to their ways of testing them, which they will test after every 2 weeks. So if we look at 2 weeks, it will be after holiday.
Okay, so what happens now? Are they then required to give tests to the officials? What happens now, since they're not testing the truck drivers anymore? What happens now? What's the process now?
He says they are only screening truck drivers. So he says this might help the situation.
Okay, we heard of reports of a woman dying at the border. What has been what have you heard from people on the ground about what happened to that woman, or any other deaths for that matter?
Yes, it's not only a woman who died. Starting from the 7th of December to date, we have 36 people who died trying to cross into Zimbabwe. We have got 11 people, ordinary people, who died in the queue trying to cross into Zimbabwe. Some were dying from dehydration. Some were dying at the hospital. And we have 21 people who died trying to cross into South Africa through ungazetted points of entry. Some were killed by people called gumagumas. There are some people robbing people outside the border. And we have 4 truck drivers. As of yesterday, we have 4 truck drivers who died in the queue trying to cross into Zimbabwe. And the problem is there's no point of U-turn when you are in the queue already and you will be in the bush. If you don't have water, then it means you die. And we tried to engage the Musina municipality so that they can bring some water bowsers. But unfortunately, they have no access to the people in the queue as the road is locked. There's no traffic from the Zimbabwean side because the South African, the northbound traffic is occupying all the lanes, and not even emergency vehicles can access the road. So it's a very, very difficult situation, and the situation needs both sides, the South African government and the Zimbabwean government. But it seems like there's a stalemate between the South African government and the Zimbabwean government because they couldn't tell us what have they resolved in that meeting that happened 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. And how long on average are your drivers or people at the border spending there at the border before they can cross?
We don't have actual average time, but we have people who have been at the border for the past 5 days. And at least we managed to speak to the border management so that they can allow those people with expired COVID-19 test certificates while it's in the queue to cross into Zimbabwe. So they say if you can prove that you were in the queue, you can be exempted. And at the same time, the border officials are condemning the testing of people at the border. So they told us to advise all travelers to come with their own COVID-19 test certificates so that they can reduce the crossing process.
How are you as an association assisting in this situation?
We have got some representatives at the border there trying to assist, and we are also trying to force people, the vendors, to reduce the prices of water and basic food, because we can see that a bottle of water is now going for 20 rands, taking advantage of the situation. So we are trying our level best, and we are trying to assist those who have got who are on medications, so that we can help them with temporary medication such as BP medication and what have you. We've got some bicycles and some other modes of transport that can assist people who are in the queue that is not vehicles. So we are trying our level best to assist the people, and we are now trying to. We are reaching out all transport companies through their organizations to make sure that truck drivers are obeying the traffic rules.
All right, Dennis Juru, thank you so much for speaking to us. He's the president of the International Cross-Border Traders Association, talking to us about the situation at the Beitbridge border post, where people are said to be spending over 5 days at the border to cross over. Well, apparently there was a meeting between South Africa and Zimbabwean government officials to sort this out. And according to this report that I'm reading, the Limpopo Traffic Department officials are also assisting in trying to make sure that people, the congestion is a little better in the next coming days.